You are listening to the Snocross Podcast, presented by Amsoil.
What's up, guys? It's Haley, host of the Snocross Podcast, presented by Amsoil. Today, we're talking to a couple of teammates from KC Motorsports, the Evans. I've got Evan Christian, current points leader for the sport division. The class has been too tough to tame in 2021. And I have his teammate for Pro Lite, who's new to the team this year, Evan Daudt. So we're talking Snocross current events, a preview on Eagle River, some of their histories with the iconic venue, and we're going to close things up with a little fan Q&A as featured on our Instagram earlier this week. So hope you like it. Check it out.
Guys, let's get into this. So we'll start with you, Evan Christian. You know, you've had 2 wins. You're currently holding that points lead, and you have found yourself back atop the Ridex 365 Sport Power Rankings. So are you the guy to beat heading into Eagle River?
You know, I'm just trying to keep level head, you know, coming off a win last weekend on a double podium. So we're just trying to keep a level head and keep the confidence rolling up. And we're just trying to put it all together and put these next couple of weekends at Eagle River together and see what happens and hopefully come out on top.
Good deal. You've been super consistent with the podiums. Of course, it's paying off in dividends with that points lead. So looking forward to seeing what you can do. Evan Daudt, you're one of our previous Pro Lite winners this year in a class that's just been so chaotic. We've had so many winners, so much drama, and it's been really more exciting than ever to pay attention to this year. How are you feeling about your season?
I'm feeling really good other than a couple like little injuries and mishaps that I've had. I feel faster and more comfortable on my sled than I have in a really long time. And just to get that win again after a couple of dry years is just super motivating. So I don't know. I feel good. I'd like to get on the box a couple more times here heading into Eagle River. So just to end the season, and then summer, it's so much of a better summer when you know you ended on a good note too.
And how satisfying was it to get that win, not only after a few seasons of not having a win, but to come back from an injury? What was it, a dislocated shoulder from a few weekends prior?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was amazing to finally to get on the box again. And then, just after the shoulder, I just needed to prove to myself, I think, that I could do it again and to get that monkey off my back. And I can't even begin to explain the feeling. It was unreal and just a huge win for me. And I think for the whole team and I want to do it again so bad.
And now this is your first season with KC Motorsports. You're making the transition. You're still on a Polaris, so you don't have to deal with changing brands and sometimes the hiccups that can come from that. How well have you adjusted with this team? It seems like you guys have hit things off really well right away.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing here. Everybody's so easy to get along with, and they're all like my best friends after just one season too. And I'd say the hardest part about being on the team would be trying to decide if people are talking to me or the other Evan when they're trying to get to us. But no, it's been unreal. Just the team atmosphere, and everybody wants to win so bad, and everybody is so committed to the sport and to making sure everybody's having a good time too. And I have honestly nothing bad to say at all.
That's awesome. And I do have to admit, I'm super embarrassed. I walked in on Friday at ERX and I was looking for you, Evan Daudt. I had some questions for my notes and you happened to be out like watching the track or something. And I stepped in the trailer. And you know what I asked? I said, "Is Evan around?" And I can't even remember which one of the mechanics turned around and said, "Which one?" But he said it with such a graceful smile on his face. And meanwhile, I just wanted to go hide under a rock.
Oh, you are not the first one to do that.
Oh gosh. It's like, I know you're both Evan, but I just So my apologies there, but it's good, I guess, to hear that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, we need to come up with some nicknames that'll stick, I think.
No kidding. Well, Evan Christian, let me ask you this, with Evan Daudt coming on the team this year, you're Pro Lite rider for the team. So what are some things you've learned from Evan I'll ask you to Evan Daudt afterwards, the same thing. What are some things you've learned from him? But we'll start with you, Evan Christian.
Oh man, I can't thank him enough because he every time if I have a bad heat race or a bad final, he's always like, "Hey, it's all right. Like you'll get him next time. You'll keep your head up." And you can't ask for anything more. It's been really good, and like even as a practice track, we just go back and forth pushing each other. And, it's so much fun because we're so competitive that we both want to win so bad that it's like, you can't ask for a better combination. So.
That's the truth. And that's really good to hear. What about you, Evan Daudt? What are some things that you've learned from your teammate and some ways that maybe you guys have pushed each other?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome being able to practice together. Like, honestly, looking back, I wish we would have been able to practice more than we actually got to. But like with my injuries and his school and stuff, I feel like we didn't get to practice together as much as I wish we would have. But the times practicing together, it's just like he was saying about being able to push each other. And I don't know, I've just every time he goes out on the track, just trying to put in fast laps, and he's super, super consistent. And like, even just last time we were in Fertile practicing, he was going around the track and just showing me these different lines that he was taking. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even think of taking those lines. So I think it's so cool how like in sport, you get a lot of riders that aren't super mature. And I definitely say Evan is one of the most mature riders in sport. And I can learn a ton from him just by watching him ride and all that. So, and then just every time he goes out, just his, like he was saying too, his desire to win, and there's no off days for Evan, and he keeps me going just as much as I keep him going.
That's awesome. Now you had mentioned up in Fertile practicing. Is that where you guys practice all season long, or does KC have their own track?
So I actually, because, I just graduated high school last year, I would have my own track in town. And then because of lack of snow this year, I would go, either to Fertile to my cousin Logan's track, and then to Fertile or Aurora. And every once in a while, Evan would come up and we do a lot of testing, a lot of riding. But mostly, like in the years past, I've mainly stayed in my hometown, and I've rode pretty much every hour of the day, it feels like, but it's good. And so, and I think Evan goes to ERX quite a bit, and we've gone to Aurora a lot this year, which is good. So something different, break it up, and new atmosphere, new landscape to look at, I guess.
Definitely, variety is a good thing. And both Aurora and ERX, two vastly different styles of track, and they've both been so awesome, especially this year. So it's cool to hear you've been mixing it up. And you mentioned Logan, and as his cousin, I want to ask you, how is Logan doing? Have you talked to him?
I actually talked to him a little bit last week. I haven't talked to him much this week, but he's doing better. He's healing up slowly but surely. He's been playing a lot of video games, and so he's in good spirits at least. And I've actually stopped by a couple of weeks ago and just to see how he was doing, but he was conked out on the couch. So what do you think? He's healing up just A-okay.
Well, it's good to hear he's following doctor's orders and resting up. I saw him and his wife were out for a walk and he was wheeling around. So we haven't heard about his 2022 plans, but I hope that includes a big old comeback at the season opener next year. And speaking of, practice tracks and whatnot, we were in Fargo this year, and that was the home track for KC Motorsports. So how much was KC Motorsports involved in the building of the track? Like, did you guys contribute groomers or snow guns, or I guess, what was the involvement like there? Do you know?
So our groomer actually went down there probably like, I don't know, a month or so before. And they use that quite a bit. And then over in Fertile there at Christian Brothers, they actually lended them their snow guns for the same, probably about a month or two before the race. So it was all a bunch of KC Motorsports and Christian Brothers Racing. They did a lot of effort into it to make it happen and keep it rolling. So
good deal. It was an awesome track and one of the fan and viewer favorites for sure this year, one of the bigger courses. So hope to be back next year because that was exciting. Now, I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about Eagle River. Let's start with you, Evan Daudt. What is your history with Eagle River? Have you raced snowcross there? Or if not, what have you heard?
I raced there when I was on junior sleds. So that was a long time ago, probably 8 or so years ago. And I don't when we were in the middle of the ice track, I just remember it being wicked cold. So every single time, like the wind was blowing and I was bundling up everything I had. So I'm excited to go back, and for it to be warm will be awesome. I think that'll solve every problem I ever had with Eagle River. So no, I'm super excited to be able to go there. I've been watching, they have that live track camera on the track and just watching how much effort and how much snow they're making there. And I'm honestly looking forward to it being an awesome track and an awesome venue for fans. Hopefully tons of fans show up, and I think it should be a great couple weekends.
Yeah, it seems like it's the perfect fit, because while ISOC hasn't been there, it's the snowmobile capital of the world, and they have so much indoor seating if weather doesn't cooperate, but it's supposed to. And with Ice Oval season being done and us just building the track over it, I would bet that this is a pleasant surprise for all of their regular fans for Ice Oval who are going to come out and enjoy some snowmobile racing. So that's exciting for sure. And Evan Christian, you have a history with the World Championship as well. One of your favorite career wins came from that place, I believe 2012, your mom was saying. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, it was 2012. I actually have the trophy right here. I brought it down just in case. So
yes,
maybe I can get it. And the newspaper article from our local newspaper, they did a whole article on it. So, but yeah, it was 2012, and I on the 120 champ. And yeah, it was just, like Evan said, it was just brutally cold. I remember wearing like Logan Christian's pit coat as I'm a 10-year-old little kid sitting on the 120 and yeah, going out in the middle of the ice track, and yeah, I ended up winning it. I think I remember I was fourth pick, and I think I started like towards the back and ended up coming through. So it was a good race, and I still remember it to this day. So it must have been pretty important.
That's so cool. Your mom was said she sent me pictures of, there's a picture of you and your sister. I think it must have been your high school graduation. You had the trophy on display. You got an awesome jacket from it. What's the energy like at the World Championship? Can you put that into words for listeners who maybe haven't been there before?
You can't beat it. There's nothing like it. And it's always, everybody, it's just, they're awesome. They're just so happy to like watch some snowmobiles go around the track, and like it's just it's like immaculate. You can't beat it. There's nothing better than, you're in the snowmobile capital of the world. It's gonna be one of the best fans, and they just want to see good old snowmobile racing and smell the race gas. So it's always good. It's fun. The energy is very light, and it just gets you excited before you even touch the snow. So it's good.
And now with these final 2 weekends remaining, and maybe this changes from weekend to weekend here with the final 2 rounds, but let me ask you this, Evan Christian, you're currently holding on to that points lead. What are you most focused on heading into Eagle River? Understand you haven't seen the full race course yet, but is there one thing in particular that you're going in with an intention this weekend?
Honestly, my intention is just not to let up, like just keep pushing just as hard as I've been doing all year, and just, have fun, whatever happens, but never give up and go for that win. Like, you don't ride over your head and mess up and like lose a point or lose something, but, just push forward and do everything you can, no matter what happens. If you have the opportunity to win, shoot for it. But if you're going to make a dumb mistake, don't do it. So kind of just push forward and just stay consistent.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well, we're going to shift gears once again. Yesterday, we did a fan Q&A request on the Snocross Instagram page, and the fans delivered with some pretty good ones here. Sure. And some of them aren't specific to either of you, so we'll just open up the floor here. But we'll start out with, and you guys have already answered this one. First question is, will this be your first time at the Derby track? Answer is no. On to the next one here. How, and with there being two Evans on the team, when someone says Evan, do you look both ways? And with that being said, how does the team work with that problem? Nicknames?
So right away we kind of like set out to solve that problem. I don't know if Evan, if you want to share all your nicknames. Evan has quite a few more nicknames than I ended up getting.
Please do.
Because you're better than I am.
Well, I don't know how it came up, but we were eating dinner at one point, and somehow, and he ended up being white chocolate for a little while, and then yeah, that I think is my favorite one. I use that more than anything. And then we were playing PlayStation, and all of a sudden Joel, our truck driver, just starts busting out laughing. None of us had any idea what the heck he was laughing at. So Evan's name for his account on PlayStation is Snowboy, spelled with an I. I don't know how long ago you made that account. So he's been, I think, Snowboy to most of the team, right, Evan?
Yeah, I think, most of the people. The only person that we've got to catch on to white chocolate is Steve Shearing. So
yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
I don't know. I had kind of a smashy weekend, I guess, at ERX. So I was bam for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know. It's funny. Like the longer we go through the season, we almost, when somebody says Evan, we almost know who they're talking about just by the way they say it a lot of times.
Good stuff. Well, here's another one for both of you. What is your favorite workout?
For me, I'd say dirt biking. Dirt biking is my favorite way to train.
Mostly moto or cross country. I understood you did some border battle races this summer.
Holy, that's a whole different kind of dirt bike racing. Oh my gosh. That will test your focus and your ability to ride a dirt bike for a long time without hitting a tree. But it was definitely super fun.
It tests your vocabulary and knowledge of curse words. Just when you think you've said them all, you go run a hair scramble and you'll be surprised what comes out of your mouth. Those things are they're a whole different animal. What about you, 333?
Oh man, I'd honestly say just your regular bike ride. I don't know why, but I really like riding bikes. They're just fun. They're just out and about and good, 10, 15 miler, and I don't know, just something to do, something different than running. It's a lot more fun than running for me.
Definitely.
I thought you said you went for, didn't you go for like 3-hour bike rides for training?
Yep. John makes me do 2 to 3 hours mainly, and sometimes a 4-hour if depends on how the weekend goes. So
now is John is that your trainer or who is?
Yep, that's my trainer, John Westling from out in California. He trains Logie Logie, like Jig Jerk and a few other guys, I think. But yeah, so yeah, we actually just started last summer, so like it's been a year now, and it's been really good and can't complain. Otherwise, I was training at just kind of on my own or Sanford Power in Fargo, and it's been a big improvement, and I like it a lot. So I'm definitely gonna just keep on keeping on with him. So.
Good deal. That's awesome. When you say biking, I assume you're talking on the road, or do you mountain bike as well?
Road and mountain bike. Yep. Kind of a mix of both. Depends on how I'm feeling. So
nice. Well, only 2 to 4 hours. That's no joke. Well, who is your favorite pro rider? We'll start with you, Evan Christian.
I'm gonna have to go with Logan Christian. I'm just little biased, but yeah, he's definitely my favorite no matter what.
Yeah, you guys, I would have to assume he had a big part in teaching you how to ride and just your upbringing in the sport.
Yeah, we ever since I was probably like, I don't know, I must have been like 5 or 6, so we'd always go to Fertile, and yeah, he would no matter what, even if I was on a transition sled or something that was like way slower than him on an open pro mod. And like if I would pull off, he would come off behind me and tell me to get back out there, and he would have to pass me, and he would want me to hit him right in the next corner. So we do a lot of battling, and yeah, I can't thank him enough for pushing me and making me bump and hit him all the time.
That's sick. What a role model. What about you, Doubt?
I'd have to say Kyle Pauline. He's like, I don't know. He is like always, for as long as I've been on team, I was on Team LaValle. He was always a huge role model for me, and he taught me so much. And we'd always go out there and bang bars, and we have a lot of stories about smashing into each other too. I have a couple bent tunnels from him, and I'm sure he's got a couple from me. But yeah, just how much he's taught me and the friendship that we've made going through racing. I really enjoy riding with Kyle, and I love to see him up there on the box when he's racing.
Some of your guys' hobbies in the off season, you've talked about biking and moto, which is your training, but also a hobby. But what are some of the others?
During I don't know, last summer I started work. My dad builds custom cabinets, so I spent a lot of time in the wood shop. So I don't know, I kind of got into just being kind of crafty and seeing what I could make out of wood, and I ended up I made one of those balance boards, and I made a dresser for my wife. And I don't know, I really enjoy kind of the artsy part of that and seeing what I can make. So that I enjoy doing that a lot during the summer.
Very cool. What about you, Evan Christian?
Other than when I'm not racing and training and doing that stuff, I'm either at our lake cabin, like surfing, doing that stuff, going for razor rides, just doing that. Or during the week, I'm always working, helping my dad out with our car dealership. So I'm always super busy with him, and it's honestly so much fun. I love to help him and work and whatnot. So it makes riding on the weekend so much more worth it, because you're like, oh, free time, I can go do what I want. So it's a blast, So yeah, super busy when I'm always busy, it feels like, but it's good.
Good deal. Now, this next question actually comes from the Snowbike Cowboy, and I assume this is directed at you, Evan Daudt, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. He says, when did you start your snowbike career, and when will your first race be?
He actually told me about this question when we were out practicing this week. I'm like, my snowbike career started probably 3 years ago when I rode my first snowbike, and I haven't gotten any better since. So until they make a triple amateur, whatever's lower than amateur class, that's when it will continue, because I have a hard time even leaving the ground on a snow bike.
It's hard. It's so different. It's not a motocross bike. It's not a snowmobile. It's this weird gray area.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's for me.
What about you, Christian? Have you saddled up on a snow bike?
I've rode a few just around, not on a track though, but maybe we'll see. Jesse, I'll be coming for you maybe in a couple of years. If this don't work out, I'll see what I can do on some snow bikes.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the next question is, what got you into racing? Evan Christian, we talked about how, obviously the sport's in your family's blood. The Christian name is just synonymous with the sport, but do you remember back to like your first time on a snowmobile? Where did it all begin?
So what got our whole family into it was my dad's dad. So it would be me and Logie's grandpa, sponsored this guy who ended up doing the I-500, and he won it. So after that, it kind of went to Dwight Christian, and Dwight and Stewie and Todd all started racing, and then it moved on. And then my dad grew up and he started racing. And then when I turned 4, he's like, here you go. Let's see what you can do on a little, I think it was a ZR 120. And after that, it just kind of took off. So it just, runs in the blood, I guess.
Very cool. Roots dating back to the I-500 years ago. That's awesome. What about you, Evan Daudt?
Well, my dad bought me and my twin brother Polaris 120 when we were about 4, and I think we shared that for about half the winter before my dad decided he needed to buy another one. And then we were racing each other on 120s just before snowcross or anything all the time. You know how competitive we were as brothers. But then we moved to Longville, which of course is where Levi lives. And just with Levi racing snowcross and growing up and my dad being so big into snowmobiles, it was something I wanted to do growing up all my childhood. And when I was 13, I finally talked my dad into getting a race sled, and that's when we started racing in the junior classes.
Gotcha. Good deal. So you've been on Polaris your whole life then?
Yep, that's it. Polaris all the way.
Brand loyal. Gotta love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this question for both of you is, how disappointed do you get when you're in a crash in a race and you lose the top spots? You're in the lead and you lose it by means of crashing. And I'm going to add on to that. And, that's obviously very frustrating, but I guess I want to position that as like, how do you handle that kind of stress on track in order to recenter yourself?
Evan, do you want to go first?
You can go first. I got to think.
Okay. It is, oh my gosh, that is a brutal feeling when you're leading or when you're up towards the front or whatever. A lot of it depends on how it happens, I guess. Like if it's just a stupid mistake and you end up crashing all by yourself, that'll really eat at you. Like that sucks. It's hard to go back to the trailer and deal with that and go back to the team and be like, yeah, we could have had a podium, but I overshot this jump or made a stupid mistake. But I mean, if it's a sled failure, I mean, it sucks no matter what. But it's just, I don't know. It's really hard when it should never have happened. You know what I mean? So that's when it's the hardest for me, anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah, for me, it's like if that stuff happens, you just you can't really, I mean, you like to say you can't get down on yourself, even though you do, and you can't let it bother you. You kind of have to have a short-term memory and forget about it, and go back to the trailer, reset, and if it's on Friday, you reset and you forget about it, you don't think about it the next day, and you just go out there and you live like that never happened, and then. But yeah, like Evan said, it's the most frustrating and it's just a gut wrenching feel. Like you're like, oh, it was that close, but it's just not something you ever want to feel. And it's never any fun for the entire team to go back and, the sled's all banged up and you're banged up when you could be, in perfect position, first place with no issues. So. It's just one of those feelings that it's just, you can't really explain. You just think about it and just makes you gut wrench. So
no doubt about it. It's one of those points, in all part of racing, but it's where that mental side really, meets the physical too, where your body's banged up. You got to go out there and perform, but also like mentally, I can't imagine what that must be like. Now, the next question we have is, to our viewers listening, if you submit a question and we haven't asked it, it's probably been answered earlier in the episode. So I might be gracing over a few of them here. But here's a question from Blaine Stevenson, who's a 4-time World Championship Snowmobile Derby winner. He says, how has the change from a family-based and run team changed? And sorry, this is worded kind of funny. Let me rephrase that. How has the change gone from like a family-based team to an expanded team in recent years? It's been good. I think as we've been, expanding, we've all been like adapting more and more to it. And it's actually, I think it's been better because of, it's changed. It's not your family. You don't go home on the weekend or go home on the week and see them there. So it's kind of like, take a breather, you get to, if they're making you mad, you get to step away from them for a day kind of deal. And it's like the next weekend comes and you're ready to go again. So it's been good. And, it's been very solid and very, it's been awesome. No matter what happens, it's always been, it's been really good, uplifting and just easygoing, I would say. Good deal. Well, it's awesome to see the family team continue to grow and find success, especially in 2020 when there's no shortage of adversity. So things going well and happy to see it. Now, our last question here for both of you to close out the podcast of what have been your favorite tracks this year? We'll start with you, Christian.
I think my favorite, I think I would have to say Fargo. I know it's my home race, but I really like that track. It had a lot of separation on Friday night and Saturday, but it was very, like one line, you could hit one line just as fast as you hit the other one, but it would still be, a half second slower a lap. But I definitely have to say Fargo, and it it just that triple or that quad in the middle there by that back building on the opposite side of the finish line. Like that was such a separator of guys that like in the sport class, if you were to hit that, it was like huge time saver and you would at least pass 1 to 2 guys that lap. So I'd like to say Fargo.
Good deal. They did an incredible job with the track. It put on great racing, like you said. And can you believe how many people came out on both Friday and Saturday night amidst like negative 30-degree temps? That was amazing to me.
Yeah.
Good times. What about you, Daudt? Is Fargo up there considering that's where you had your win?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a little biased towards Fargo because that is where I got my win and it's the team's home race. So there were a lot of people like walking through the semi and obviously most people that Evan and his family knew, but it was just super cool to see everybody out there. And yeah, those fans are like nuts, but you got to love them. Like that is the true like snowmobile enthusiast right there. If you're willing to come out and I don't know what it was, like negative 25 degree with wind chill and everything, that is crazy. But it was so cool to see those fans. And then I don't know, I really liked ERX 2 weeks ago on Friday. I thought they did an awesome job with the track and it was super racy. Like all those whoops through the back section and how they developed and with the step on, step offs and triples. And I love that stuff. Like Evan was saying, the stuff that separates guys and where not everybody's like super comfortable hitting the bigger jumps. So that is awesome because it really sets guys apart. So yeah, I'd say definitely Fargo. And then a couple of the tracks that we've had at ERX are awesome.
Hope you enjoyed that chat with the Evans, Evan Daudt and Evan Christian for KC Motorsports Polaris. Always a treat. If you like what you heard, go on over to Apple Podcast and Spotify. Be sure to subscribe. You can also find our video episodes on YouTube as well as on our Facebook page. That's at Snocross. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out snocross.com where you can find all of our episodes here on the Snocross Podcast presented by AMSOIL. I'm your host, Haley Shanley. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time.